that time, you want them to be up the behind of whatever nursing home you end up in. We take our
Yeah,
cognition for
absolutely. It's
granted as
important to have
women.
family members looking after older people, but it doesn't always necessarily have to be the children. Like there are definitely other options available too.
Yeah, like nieces and nephews. On my husband's side of the family, they have a matriarch. She's an aunt, but you would never guess that she wasn't a grandmother. I thought that she was, but she had just invested so much time in her nieces and nephews. They all take very good care of her. But like what I'm saying when it comes to like how that can be a drawback for feminism, because we're talking about liberating women, that's putting women at risk for abuse, right? And it's like you have a fertile window that takes a sharp hit at 35. And if we're going to be living right now, we're living to 71.1. I anticipate that'll increase. And I think that will, if I had to choose, I think we'll probably be living to 90. So if you as a woman choose to be single and or childless, the repercussions of that are going to be 55 years of the rest of your life to 90.
I
This
think
is a
well
good
something real quick because
sure.
I think this is actually a counterintuitive thing. I think if you want to increase your chances of being safe as a woman, I think that you have to remain. The highest likelihood that a woman ever encounters violence in her lifetime is interpersonal violence in a domestic abuse situation. That's like so the best thing you can do is keep a man out of your house. Like the chance of a guy breaking into your house and
kind of
like violent
true.
robbery or whatever or burglary stuff like that is pretty low. But I'm pretty sure a decent number. Fuck, I'd have to Google it, but I thought it was like 30 to 40% of women have experienced like some form of like intimate partner violence in the household.
Yeah,
And it's like,
so you're talking about DV, but I'm talking about how like other ways that feminism can be harmful. I'm saying that there's probably going to be a wave of women that are single and or childless that are at risk for being abused in nursing homes that we haven't seen before. Women are also right now. If you neglect the trans stats in comparison to men, they're the largest growing demographic of homeless individuals. And I get what you're saying. Like, I get what you're saying. I'm sorry, I have pregnancy brain right now. I'm trying to remember your name. Genevieve.
Genevieve?
Okay.
Yeah.
oh,
Genevieve, yeah.
sorry,
So I get what you're saying about like, yeah, make the money. Okay. But for some reason, there are, I don't know how much money you're making or anything like that, but women making enough money to retire, that's the minority of women. That's also the minority of people. You know what I mean? So, like, as much as women should be doing this thing, if you're going to be single and childless, you need to put your big girl panties on and you need to go and you need to make that bread. But they're not going to. Like, that's the problem.
Well, I think that's a problem for men as well. I think a lot of
Hmm.
people are struggling to have enough of a retirement fund to live comfortably in their old age. And I think that kind
Hmm.
of brings us back full circle to something that was brought up in the beginning of the conversation by Stephen, that we have a lot of issues that are affecting both men and women. And this like hyperfixation on making it a men versus women kind of a conversation all the time
yeah,
isn't
old
really doing us
person
any favors.
end of life care to make that a gendered issues would be crazy to me because if anything I
I
would
don't think
expect
so.
like technically women are always probably going to suffer end of life care even in a perfect world because women tend to
Mhm.
outlive men anyway, right?
Right. So
Women
you're
tend to
talking.
outlive men and they tend to marry up in age like 4 to 5 years too, so you're like always setting yourself up to be
Hmm.
yeah.
I
Well,
guess
that's what
there's
your
also a
nosy kids are
stereotype.
for.
There's a
Like,
stereotype that these single childless women also are just like living in these cliques of other single childless women. So in that
mhm,
regard, they'd be much better off than like a single friendless man because they'd at least have other like found family that they would be able to
mhm.
gain support from too. They're less lonely.
I want to
Right.
go ahead. Go
So,
ahead.
but I want to like back to elder abuse. Like this is I mean, I have the information pulled up on another side, but it's common consensus. I say even maybe for the CNC that women are more at risk of elder abuse than males. And I'm not saying that maybe the men
What the
aren't being reported or
fuck?
maybe they're not living as long, but women dominate the workforce when it comes to CNAs, and they are low educated, low paid women. I have family members that have been CNAs. I went to college with women who are CNAs. It's not the highest professional status job out there, right? So that's already an issue. It's low education and then low compensation. Aside from that, when they have to choose, like let's say that you just happen to be this sociopathic, malicious CNA, are you going to try to beat down a man or a woman? You're probably going to choose a woman. They're
An old
smaller because
person?
CN.
An old person?
Yes,
They're both